welcome back to our channel after a lengthy break. Today we will explore William Shakespeare's epic tragic drama Macbeth. I will be going into depth about the author because we are all familiar with him, but you should stay focused until the end since it answers a load of questions. The play begins with a brief appearance by a trio of witches before moving to a military camp, where Scottish King Duncan learns that his generals, Macbeth and Bango, have beaten two different opposing armies, one from Ireland led by the rebel MacDonald and one from Norway. Following their heated battle with the enemy armies, Macbeth and Bango come into the witches as they cross a field. The witches predict that Macbeth will be appointed Thane of Cawdor, which means a position of Scottish, the ruling class, eventually King of Scotland. They also predict that Macbeth's companion Bango will produce a series of Scottish kings, however, Bango himself will never be king. The witches disappear, and Macbeth and Bango are doubtful of their predictions until some of King Duncan's troops arrive to thank the two generals for their combat wins and inform Macbeth that he has been named Thane of Cawdor. The previous Thane betrayed Scotland by fighting with the Norwegians, and Duncan sentenced him to death. Macbeth is attracted by the possibility that the rest of the witch's prophecy that he will be proclaimed king may come true, but he is unsure what to expect. He visits with King Duncan, and they plan to dine together at Inverness, Macbeth's castle, that night. Macbeth writes back to his wife, Lady Macbeth, informing her of everything that has happened. Lady Macbeth doesn't share her husband's hesitation. She wants the kingdom for him and wants him to murder Duncan to get it. When Macbeth arrives in Inverness, she overrides all of her husband's concerns and encourages him to murder the king that night. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth want to get Duncan's two chamberlains intoxicated so that they black out. The next morning, they will put the murder on the chamberlains, who will be defenseless because they will not remember anything. Despite his concerns and a variety of supernatural prophecies, including a vision of a bloody dagger, Macbeth stabs Duncan while he is sleeping. When Duncan's dead body is found the next morning, Macbeth murders the Chamberlains, supposedly out of anger for their crimes, and easily takes on the throne. Duncan's sons Malcolm and Dunalbain escaped to England and Ireland respectively, fearful that whomever murdered Duncan also want to kill them. Fearful of the witch's prophecy that Bango's children will capture the kingdom, Macbeth hires murderers to kill Bango and his son Fleance. They capture Bango on his way to a royal feast, but they are unable to murder Fleance, who disappears into the night. Macbeth becomes furious. As long as Fleance is alive, he fears that his power will be unstable. At the feast that night, Macbeth is visited by Bango's ghost. When he sees the ghost, Macbeth screams in terror, shocking his guests, who include the majority of the great Scottish nobility. Lady Macbeth tries to neutralize the damage, but Macbeth's monarchy provokes rising oppositions from his nobles and rural people. Frightened, Macbeth goes to see the witches in their grotto. They show him a number of demons and spirits who give him additional predictions. He must be careful of Macduff, a Scottish nobleman who opposed Macbeth's entry to the throne. He is impervious to harm from any man born of woman, and he'll be safe until Birnam Wood arrives at Dunsinane Castle. Macbeth is relieved and safe since he understands that all men are born from women and that woods cannot move. When Macbeth discovers that Macduff has left to England to join Malcolm, he orders the takeover of Macduff's castle and most cruelly the murder of Lady Macduff and her children. When news of his family's execution reaches Macduff in England, he feels crushed and pledges revenge. Duncan's son, Prince Malcolm, has successfully raised an army in England, and Macduff accompanies him on his ride to Scotland to face Macbeth's army. The attack is supported by the Scottish nobles who are horrified and terrified by Macbeth's dictatorial and homicidal behavior. On the other hand, Lady Macbeth suffers from sleepwalking spells in which she blames that she assumes to be bloodstains on her hands. Before Macbeth's opponents arrive, he learns that Lady Macbeth has committed her own life, sending him into an intense and miserable depression. However, he evades the English and fortifies Dunsinane, where he appears to have withdrawn to defend himself, confident that the witch's predictions guarantee his immortality. However, he is numb with fear when he learns that the English army is moving forward upon Dunsinane, shielded by leaves cut from Birnam Wood. Birnam Wood is indeed arriving at Dunsinane, fulfilling half of the witch's prophecy. Macbeth fights violently, but the English soldiers eventually overcome his army and castle. On the battlefield, Macbeth meets the vengeful Macduff, who claims that he was not of woman born, but rather premature ripped from his mother's womb, what now we call caesarean birth. But knowing he is destined to fail, Macbeth continues to battle until Macduff kills and executes him. Malcolm, now the King of Scotland, declares his good intentions for the country and asks everyone to attend his investiture at Scone. So that is the end of the play. Now, here are some important questions answered. How will the predictions of the witches concerning Bango come true? It is considered that Fleance, Bango's son, will eventually become king. This presumption is partially based on the witch's prediction that Bango's son and heirs would rule instead of him. When Macbeth sends a group of murderers to kill Bango and Fleance, Fleance escapes and the murderers only fulfill half of their mission, leaving an open way for Bango's descendants to win the throne. The only monarch crowned after Macbeth in the play is Malcolm, Duncan's son. Question number 2. How did Lady Macbeth convince Macbeth to murder King Duncan? Lady Macbeth convinces Macbeth to slay King Duncan by appealing to his feeling for manhood and courage. Lady Macbeth grows outraged when Macbeth confesses that he has changed his mind and is no longer eager to kill King Duncan. She openly challenges whether he is a man who is prepared to act on his wants, and she goes on to question his manhood by saying, "When you dare to do it, you are a man." Lady Macbeth's tactic worked. Despite his anger at his wife's cruelty, Macbeth decides to kill Duncan. Question number 3. How did Birnam Wood move and why was Macduff able to kill Macbeth? When Malcolm, Macduff, Seward, and the other noblemen are planning to attack Macbeth's castle and overthrow him in Act 5, Scene 4, they are in Birnam Wood in the fields. Malcolm instructs the men to break off branches from a tree in the wood and hold them in front of them as they march towards Macbeth. He claims that doing so will conceal their true numbers from those watching Macbeth, who will be unable to report an accurate count to the monarch. From Macbeth's perspective, many yards away, it appears that the Birnam wood itself is moving when the men do this. Although the witches inform Macbeth that he cannot be murdered by a man of woman born, Macduff discloses to Macbeth that he was delivered by what we call a cesarean section, which involves cutting him out of his mother's body rather than birthing him normally. Thus, Macduff satisfies the witch's prediction that a man not born of a woman is the only person capable of killing Macbeth. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more updates.